Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chef Jamie and my associate,
Cake Jen.
and we are here to tell you about ourselves. We have taken Facebook by storm. Now we want to take YouTube by storm, and we want to introduce ourselves, get out there, and tell you a little bit about ourselves. So,
Who are we?
the Red Room Cakery. I started doing cakes about, we always get this mixed up, 16 years ago. I started doing cakes. I was in the military. I went to pastry school through the military. There was a girl on the ship that I was on, and I tried to impress her because, that's what I like to do, impress girls with cake. And came to find out that she was married and had children waiting for her at home, so my dreams were essentially bashed, and I went into a total depressive state. And no, that's what started my cake decorating. Essentially, it was trying to impress a girl. The cake decorator on board the USS Carl Vinson thought that I had some sort of talent and decided to take me under his wing, and that led to the spiralation of what is now the Google that hashtag spiralization. And 16 years and a girl is what got me into cakes. And Cake Jen,
I got my start at Baskin Robbins. I was in high school. I wanted a job. It seemed easy enough and started working on cakes there. They showed me kind of the basics, simple sculpting, not really sculpting, more like piping and how to make buttercream, different colors, shapes, sizes, real basic stuff. Did that for a few years.
ice cream cakes.
Ice cream. After that, I went to college, went to Indiana State to get a degree in interior design, which I worked in that profession for 16 years after college. Just to recently walk away from all of that and join this guy and start working on cakes from home. Well, I guess
She started working at
starting
home.
at home. I started as a hobby baker.
On board.
So yeah, on and off for I guess almost 20 years I've been working on cake.
Very cool. A lot of people ask me how the cakery got its start, and I think that's a really cool question. So there I was, doing cakes out of my parents' house. They absolutely loved that, I might add.
I'm sure they did.
Loved seeing me every day of the week, 5-6 days a week. Just like her, I started out as a hobby baker. I went to pastry school. I stopped doing pastries. I got tired of desserts, so I started cage fighting. I'm pretty versatile, done a little bit of everything. Worked with granite. I moved back to Terre Haute, and I decided that I wanted to do cakes. So I started doing small wedding cakes, party cakes out of my house, and then I started progressing from there. Moved into my parents' kitchen essentially because their kitchen was way bigger than my apartment kitchen. Started getting more clientele built up. It started out with friends, and it just kept on growing. And then eventually I started selling my product to some of the local eateries in Terre Haute, which is where we're located. And the Board of Health, my best friend, started snooping around those local eateries and asking about the desserts that are being displayed in their cases. And one of the guys that owned one of the eateries called me and said, "Hey man, you might want to do something about getting legal because the Board of Health was asking about you." So I made all the necessary phone calls and got legalized, got all the paperwork filed for tax purposes and my retail merchant's license and all the necessary items that you have to do to run a business. And then we moved into the location that we are at today, which is, of course, commercially zoned kitchen, and it's is our kitchen that we run out of today. So,
Boom, we're a business.
boom, the Red Room Cakery. Let's talk about some desserts.
Desserts. We do all kinds of desserts. Obviously cake, because we're the cakery. Birthday cakes, wedding cakes, party cakes, all kinds of cake.
Cake.
He hates cake.
Fun fact, Chef Jamie does not like cake. She likes cake. She's my taste tester. If I try to imply a new recipe that I want to
Imply or implement?
Sometimes I get my fancy words mixed up. We're very fancy at the Red Room Cakery. Implement a new recipe. Usually my family is taste testers, but I also have this chick right here. She's a taste tester too before I implement a new recipe out to the general public.
There it is.
My favorite dessert, since I don't like cake, I will say her chocolate chip cookies are number one on the list. And then mint chocolate chip ice cream. I'm also a fan of mint chocolate chip
ice cream.
Ice cream cakes. I can actually stand behind an ice cream cake. but a little bit of cake. I'll just take the buttercream icing and just mix it with the ice cream, and it's awesome. What about you? You got a favorite dessert too, if I remember correctly.
Cookies. Cookies are my favorite as well. We go through a lot of cake, and I'm a fan, but when you look at so many cakes in a week or even a day, you just kind of get tired of it. So everybody asks me, "Oh my gosh, how do you stay away from it? How do you not weigh 500 pounds?" First of all, I don't weigh 500 pounds. That is
115.
I wish. You just get tired of it. But cookies are my kryptonite. Love them. Can't stay out of them. Doesn't matter what kind. Chocolate sandwich cookies, chocolate chip, Oreo, oatmeal. Doesn't matter.
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal raisin? You don't like oatmeal raisins? Oh, sorry, you have trust issues.
That's so healthy. Yeah. I don't trust a cookie that looks like chocolate chip, but is really faking it. Granted, I don't like cake. I do have one special cake recipe that's my favorite, though. Our mint chocolate. We have a chocolate Andes mint recipe, and that's my favorite. If I had to actually tell the general public, hey, come buy our cake. I'm not the normal business owner when I sit down with a client, and I'm not going to try and sell our product. Let me rephrase that. I try to sell our product, but I'm not going to try and sell the cake aspect and be like, oh man, this is the best flavor we have. I'm very honest with people. I'll say that all our flavors have their perks. My favorite just happens to be the chocolate Andes mint, because I could just eat a whole bag of Andes mints and I would be just, put me on a couch with some Golden Girls and a bag of Andes mints and I'm good to go. What is your favorite recipe? Because you have a favorite cake recipe too, if I remember correctly.
I only had one before, and it was the white chocolate raspberry. But the more recipes we work with, the more I start to like. Right now, my kids love the cookies and cream. My husband's a big fan of the white chocolate raspberry. The butterscotch dolce is right up there for me as well. It's fantastic.
Make sure you check out. You're on the YouTube channel now, obviously. Haha. Make sure you check out our website, www.theredroomcakery.com. Not just any Red Room Cakery, the Red Room Cakery. And click on the tabs on the top and you can check out our flavors. That's something that I strive on, is having a decent amount, a nice arsenal, if you will.
Arsenal, I like
You
that.
like that? That's fancy words getting used properly. I like having a large arsenal of flavors. Something we do differently too is alcohol cakes, which a lot of bakeries alike don't like using alcohol because they get scared of the effects of what alcohol can do to a cake in the baking process, which maybe we'll make a tutorial about alcohol in a cake one day.
Maybe.
And we'll show you how to properly infuse alcohol into a cake. Now, I have a background in pastry school as my assistant.
I do not.
A lot of people think that, oh man, hey, you went to pastry school, you know all this awesomeness about cake decorating, and that's absolutely not the case. Pastry school is a broad spectrum about desserts. You learn pastries, you learn breakfast pastries, you learn all kinds of different types of dessert, not just cake. You learn recipe conversions, you learn how to pair certain items that taste good, you learn how to pair certain items that don't taste good, just so that your palate will be accustomed and will learn what you can do. Like, you wouldn't find yourself mixing blueberries with, let's say, bacon. That might be a nasty mix. Bourbon and bacon, chocolate. I love bacon. Let's just put that out there right now. I have a sick passion for bacon that would disgust most. You learn certain things that do mix well. Like, some people don't actually know that blueberries and cinnamon are delicious together in a batter mixed up for muffins, cakes, something like that. Maybe we'll show you guys a tutorial on that. But no, as far as pastry school goes, keep that in mind. I didn't just learn cake decorating. I learned a little bit of everything. But I kind of just like the cake decorating part. I like art. That's something that has been a big, big thing for me that's kept me going with cake decorating. And margaritas.
Margaritas always help.
Oh yeah, margaritas and bacon sandwiches. I said all that to say this. Of course, the hardest part of cake decorating, which is something that a lot of people will ask you, like when you drop off a cake for a delivery, they'll be like, oh man, how did you do that? What was the hardest part of that? And for me, it's not necessarily the technique that goes on the side of the cake. There are certain techniques that she can do better than I can do, and vice versa, which for business sense makes for a beautiful marriage of business, because I can pawn stuff off on her. She can pawn stuff on me. Plus, I can pawn stuff on her that I just don't want to do anyway. And it just works out beautifully. But, like, for instance, sculpting, that's her forte. I can make certain sculptures. She doesn't know what I can do because I'd never tell her what I can do.
Because she doesn't want to do it.
It keeps for good business. She's amazing at it. Absolutely amazing. Cake carving, that's something that I can do. She did a shoe cake a few weeks ago, which I'm sure we can actually put some still photos up on our YouTube channel, and you guys can check out some of the stuff that we've done. It might actually make for a cool tutorial. But the hardest part for me, we have OCD. She does, I do. Crazy OCD. I don't like imperfections, especially when I'm covering a cake in fondant. I hate that the cake itself becomes a canvas for the fondant, and any imperfection on that cake is going to show right on your fondant. So not throwing a cake in the trash can when I see imperfections kind of is a hard thing for me, because I'll see them, she'll see them, maybe somebody that's skilled with cake decorating might see them. Of course, other people are just going to say, oh wow, that looks awesome. But for me, I have a very hard time seeing all these imperfections, or if something's off by a few millimeters or centimeters, I just want to just rip my hair out and just throw the cake in the trash, get a margarita, get a hot dog or a barbecue sandwich, and just cry on the couch. Technique-wise, the real intricate piping, that's probably the hardest part for me anyway. Cornelli lace can be difficult. It's not thoroughly difficult, but if it's a big, large canvas of a cake, that can be difficult. Flowers, a lot of that floral work, the real detailed with the airbrush kit, not exactly my forte. It's really, really difficult. What do you think? You've got some stuff that you're not,
Just
hard.
depends on the cake. Obviously, we learn new stuff all the time. There's no way to know everything about this world at once. So sometimes you come across something that a customer asked for that you've never done before. So you got to figure it out. So yeah, I can't say there's one definite difficult thing about it, but I would say actually working with buttercream and getting it perfectly smooth to go underneath fondant, or even just for a plain buttercream cake. One of the most difficult things out there. People don't think it is, because you just get a spatula, smooth it around, and that's not the case. There's a lot of tricks out there. You can see videos on YouTube or anywhere online to learn how to do it, but honestly, practice. The more you do it, the better it'll get. But even after all these years, you have a bad cake day, and you get bubbles, and you get a batch of buttercream that just doesn't want to cooperate, and you feel like throwing your fist through a wall. I've had days where I've called him on the verge of tears, like I just can't get it. It won't work out. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So you just gotta take a deep breath and get back to it.
I'm glad you said that. You mentioned we get tasked with certain things we've never done before, which I love, because that makes our job exciting. It doesn't make it mundane. Nobody wants to do the same kind of cake every day, all day for just weeks on end. It gets boring. So that's another reason why I like this job. I don't have a boss. I can do what I want to do. I can make cakes my way. She can make them my way, essentially. I guess we'll just put it like that. That sounds amazing. Our way. We like to think outside the box. I think that's the best way to put it. That's why her and I get along so well. I like traditional. I do. But I don't want to do traditional every day. I know she doesn't like traditional every day either. Mm-mm. We like to do eccentric, loud. We're both full of loads of eccentricity, and that makes for a good marriage of work ethic too between the two of us. Like, we can look at a cake and be like, oh man, you could do it this way, or you could have fireworks come out of the top with a tank and a wizard standing on the top of a hill just shooting a flamethrower. Just, you get the idea. Eccentric. That being said,
we haven't done any fireworks in a cake yet.
Yet. I like the idea that people task us with stuff we haven't done yet, and that's cool, because here we are on YouTube now. Her and I have scoured YouTube probably for, years.
All kinds of videos.
All kinds of cool stuff. So now we have the opportunity and the chance to show you guys stuff too, with our tutorials that we're going to do. People probably want to know how we met, and I think we should talk about that. So here's the important thing to think about. Jobs, it's important. Any job is important, and the people you work with are probably 50-60% of what make the job either likable or you just go to work and you hate your job
Right.
every day. To work with us, you have to be a special breed of person. I'm very ADD. She can vouch for it. I've got like a million ideas going through my head at once, and I have trouble sleeping at night. Melatonin doesn't even work for me because I cannot shut my brain off. So when I started the cakery,
ADD moment right now. We actually met through a mutual friend, which is where we started with this.
oh well, over to you.
He used to work with granite, as he said earlier, and actually installed granite in my bathroom. So that was 6 years ago?
6 years ago.
Yeah, about 6 years ago. So I've known him for quite a while, but we've actually been working together side by side for 2 years now. ADD moment.
ADD. Now that was more just it's not ADD, that was like a, whatever.
Random.
But
Anyway.
but it's important to know you have to like who you work with, obviously. So meeting the right person to do things with you, meeting the right person to work with you and that you trust. There's the big one right there. She can tell you I've got nasty trust issues when it comes to certain things, including work. So for me, being able to turn the torch over to her and trust her to do a cake without me around and like micromanaging, that was a big thing for me. But she can knock anything out of the park. It's absolutely awesome. And together we have managed to just make the Red Room what it is today. So
just want to say hi to everyone out there, introduce ourselves. I hope you enjoy watching our videos. We'll have a lot more to come.
check out the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and check out for some future videos. Goodbye!